Hey, welcome to Get Business Credit YouTube channel. Can you guys hear me okay? Put a thumbs up or a number one in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me okay. Keep adjusting things here in the studio. All right, let's give a few more minutes for others to join in and we're going to get started. This live is not going to be a long live. For some reason, I just keep on uh, getting started so late. I'm kind of a OCD perfectionist about everything. So in the coming weeks, I'll try to get in starting around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. You guys can hear me okay. All right. I see some of my mentor students even in the house here. All right. Let's get started. If you guys have any questions about building business credit, getting business credit, put it in the chat section. I'll get to those and answer those. Like I said, this is just going over a few new fintechs. I've covered briefly about one or two of them, I believe, but there's one that's brand new. Most of you guys probably haven't heard of, and I'm going to be going over that. This one's also for US and Canada. So if you're in Canada, this might be for you as well. One of the comments I did see say, if this is no PG, there'll be 100% revenue base for sure. This one, yes, but we're going to cover several different ones. And there are some no PG business cards that you can get that solely 100% based on your business credit, Experian business credit in particular. All right, so let's get right into it. One of them is Navan or Navan, however you pronounce it. It's a travel card and a travel system for, say, you travel a lot for your business, you need flights, hotels, you get rewards back on it, and you can get $500 just by signing up. There's no strings attached besides you just have to book your first trip with it. Am I lagging at all, you guys? Because here on the screen, I don't know if it's my computer or not, but it seems like I'm lagging or something. Let me try to reduce some of this. Let me know if I am lagging at all, you guys, if either the video or anything is lagging. There is a lag. All right, hang on one second, you guys. Let me try to address that. Yeah, I think I know why. Just bear with me here. I forgot to close a few things. I will do that now. I had a lot of programs running earlier for upcoming videos, so just bear with me. This won't take too long. I'll get it done. All right, almost done here. Okay, that should be a little bit better. I had Photoshop running for some design thumbnails and video editing for upcoming videos. Anyways, so let's get back to it. So Navan, however you want to pronounce it. Basically, you're going to sign up. The link will be in the description below. It's basically like a expense management platform and rewards platform for traveling, personal or business. But once you actually do a booking with them, you can connect your business bank account, your personal cards, or checking, whatever. Once you connect it and you book with them, you're going to get rewards discount cash back on it. It just really depends. I have a couple mentor students that's already taken advantage of this. And after it's either 30 or 60 days, they give you a $500 credit that you can use towards anything when it comes to, say, booking a flight or hotel, similar to, like, say, what you would do on American Express, right? Using points just like that. But they also offer two different types of corporate charge cards. It is like net 30, but let's go over that. I'll show you here in a minute. It's a little tricky to get into it, though. They don't make it very easy just to go and apply for it. So you need to set up your whole profile first. I've had this card. It used to be called Trip Actions. Let's see here. One of my cards here. It's somewhere up there. It's in a different stack, maybe one of these stacks. But anyway, so what you do is you set up your full profile, just like here. You get started. Username, password, all that stuff, self-explanatory. You can kind of just pick anything just to get the account established, right? So travel expense solution, create a free company account. They used to charge, but they don't charge anymore. So create a free company account and make sure you don't skip steps, because then it's going to look like you're just trying to get the card and it's not going to be even offered to you. So you need to make sure you connect your business bank account, put even a business debit card or a business credit card that you have, even if it's a secured or prepaid, whatever. Just put one that's an actual card. You connect it. It's all with the Plaid system, you know. There's instructions here. I made these instructions. The link's also in there. Yeah, the link's there. It's creditjosh.link/Navan or Navan or whatever, however you pronounce it. So you're going to set up a travel payment method. You could just do like booking a hotel. If you have an upcoming trip or something, book a hotel. Their prices are not like, say, American Express, how using them, it's like kind of a increased price. That's like how they get around, like giving you a deal using the points or whatever. They actually give you good deals on the hotels, like hotels and flights. You'll see it's very competitive pricing. But just book even just a one-night hotel somewhere or something. You have something upcoming, you get that, and then that's going to actually trigger the whole business account for that $500 reward. And after 30 or 60 days, I believe it is. But that's only one part of it. But make sure you do all these steps. You'll see, like here, that's on in the green. Make sure you complete all those steps. Set up reimbursements. Now you can see here, Navan Connect, add a corporate card, connect your existing corporate card program to your expense. So you could do that, say, with your any card that you have, debit, business, whatever. And then right here, you're going to see at the bottom, so like I put down here, if you do not see this option, look for a tab that shows options or open options. Then right at the bottom, you're going to see this, and I couldn't really show it because it didn't, the screen got cut off, but you're going to see where it's going to say Navan Expense Card. It's a corporate expense card. And it typically takes 24 to 48 hours, but you do need to connect to your bank. It is a third party that they work with. I believe it's Row. They're actually working also with Citibank, but that's going to be a PG one. But the one with Row would be a no PG, and that's going to be based off of your business checking account balance. Now, one of my mentorship students recently, just started his business, I think 2 or 3 months ago, no, about 3.5, 4 months ago. He didn't get a lot, but he was offered $1,800 limit. So, they're, I don't want to say new. They used to be called Trip Actions, but that's just one. But he didn't have that much in his business bank account either. So it really is going to depend what's in your business bank account. Typically, a lot of these fintechs will either match anywhere from give you 25% up to 200% of what's in your business bank account. So I think he got like 1,800 and he had somewhere in the ballpark of like 5 to 6,000 in his bank account. So it's going to be different mitigating factors as well. I have the card, but I haven't used it since they changed from Trip Actions to Navan. They rebranded. My limit was like 11,500, I believe. So, as you guys can see, I have too much credit, and it's there's only so much I can do, and I'm in the Philippines here, So, and if any of you guys want any consultation after this live, then we can do that. I work pretty much Pacific Standard Time, but tend to work pretty late. So the number's there, 937-423-9954. Just text if you're interested in consultation. I know a lot of you guys have probably been trying to get a consultation with me. I get 20, 30 texts a day for it, and it's just a matter of lining up when it's available. Sometimes these consultations go for 10 minutes. Sometimes they last 2-3 hours. Unfortunately, I get to talking a little too much. Just depends on the complexity. Anyway, so that's that one. Again, go through, fill out the whole account, set it all up. You're not going to get that triggered, the corporate card, unless you fill out the whole account. So you're going to need to make the whole profile, connect everything. It can be a little confusing, but trust me, do it. It's very similar to Expensify. Like Expensify, they gave me 33,000 right off the bat within 24 hours. And I think at that time for that account, I had 8,000 or 9,000 in the business bank account. Every fintechs, their algorithms are always going to be different on what they're willing to give. Things have tightened up since say 2021, 2022, but I have a couple mentor students that just got say a 50,000 divvy, 110,000, 120,000 divvy, ramp 75,000, 150,000. Now, a lot of these fintechs, yes, you need to have money in the bank. But like I try to teach people, that's not the only way you can do it. You can get, say, like Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard. That doesn't factor in on your personal credit. It's only your business Experian credit that matters. Excuse me, as well as a few other factors, but they're not looking at bank balances. You don't have to connect anything. And if you do it right and get all these prerequisites right, and you have rich demographic data on your Experian business profile, if you build that up and you have some interbanking relationship built up with Synchrony already, say the Lowe's card, JCPenney's, or now Floor and Decor is underwritten by Synchrony. There's a few other lines by them as well, but you start off and literally in a matter of say 3 months, you could have from a brand new business and then have anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 limits. A lot of people just want to hurry up and jump and get that no PG revolving business Sam's Club MasterCard, and then they get a small starting limit. If you just take the time, don't do this thing, try to think it's overnight process. Stop worrying about Payex scores. Stop worrying about scores in general, and stop trying to get just as many trade lines as you can get. That's not the way to go about it. I know a lot of people online try to teach and say that, so-called experts. But look, there's only maybe one other person on YouTube that has cards like I have, which would be like, say, Credit Plug. But he does a lot of personal as well. You can see, the proof's there. I mean, there's ways to strategically get business credit built up, even if you don't say have so much capital or funds in your business bank account. Of course, having a good personal FICO score and money in the bank, that's going to help you speed up the process and get a lot more. But I can tell you, a lot of these cards had no bearing whatsoever on the brand new LLC that I used to start just for the YouTube channel to show as example, you know. So, and so-called the whole tier system, that's kind of a racket as well. There's some truth to the whole tier system, but don't believe it 100% and get off of the whole Payex 80 thing. You know, those are just metrics, guides that go by, but that's not what the underwriters are even caring about. I know I keep on preaching this. A lot of you guys already know how I feel about that. How I feel about Dun and Bradstreet. You know, if you want a whole bunch of packaging tape and cardboard boxes, by all means, go and try to get, you know, Dun and Bradstreet trade lines as much as you want. But, you know, do things strategically and don't waste money on, you know, these net 30 vendors that have no use to you, or you're overpaying for items that you can get at Walmart or Amazon for 1/10 of the price. You know, some starter vendors are okay, but, you know, with business credit, it's not federally regulated. So therefore, you know, some of these trade line companies, you can see it's like a cookie cutter website and they're offering net 30. If they have a whole page promoting about net 30 and paying a fee, some of them are okay. Depends on which one it is. But there's more and more popping up that is just ridiculous. So stay away from those. Be careful about who, you know, the trade line is. The ones that been around a long time, some of those you can trust, but like Strategic Network Solutions, Sim Off Supplies, Red Spectrum, those are all garbage. Stay away from them. All right, now let's get over to the other one real quick. And again, I'm going to make a video. That's what I was working on earlier, individual videos. So tomorrow and this weekend, you're going to see individual videos of me breaking down each one of these fintechs individually. All right, I went over this one the other day. It's a PEX card. And let's see here. So you're going to see this. The link's in the description below. So they offer a prepaid card. So if you're a brand new business, I would say still sign up for it because it can get graduated into the the unsecured card. So, you know, I'm big on interbanking relationship, build up that trust in that relationship. So I already covered this one the other day on the live, but signing up with my link, you're going to get 6 months. No, like it says here, $4 per card per month for the first 6 months. You're not going to pay anything. Use my link. They're probably, I would say, more similar to Divvy, Bill. So it's not like you need to have a lot of cash flow coming in. Of course, any fintech, the more the better. That's going to increase the limits, but it's not like you need to have, you know, 100,000 in bank account, you know. So even a couple of my mentor students just recently, and I mean just like yesterday and the day yesterday I got 2 notifications from 2 different students of mine. They got approved, waiting on one of them, waiting on the limit. They didn't tell me what the limit was. The other one, the limit was 3,500. But you have to think about these fintechs. They don't want to just give small amounts because they make money on the interchange fee when you spend it. Okay. So again, I'm going to make a more in-depth video about PEX, but the link's in the description below. You can see here how it's before you had to pay for this. You know, it was just expense management platform. Now you can see credit expense, no corporate cards, dynamic credit limits, credit lines, no personal credit checks, experience, easy administration. So let's kind of click on that real quick. You can see they have 3 different cards: debit, prepaid, and business charge card. You can see here, apply and receive up to $250 back on your first purchases. That's after 30 days, they'll give you $250. So you can't really beat that. And all these are competitors of each other, right? Divvy, Torpago, Ramp, they're all going to be competitors. Some of them are for more cash healthy businesses, say like Ramp. You need to have like 75,000 in your business bank account. However, I know they're lowering that requirement a little bit. Not PEX, that's ramp. But a majority of these fintechs, I would say 75% of them will work with those that are, say, have 3, 5, 10,000 in your business bank account. You can get approved. Anyways, any of these fintechs, it doesn't hurt to do a 5-10 minute application and then see what happens and see what they offer. I rather get, if as a brand new business, I rather get offered, say, $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 limit than nothing at all. You take stepping stones. Most of these fintechs, what they care about the most is building up that trust, and once you do that, you can get a limit increase. Unlike traditional lenders and underwriters, you need to wait 90 days, 60 days, or 180 days to request for increase. These fintechs, you get an increase and better terms just as quick as 30 days, one billing cycle, So you can see here, I won't bore you guys with this. I already kind of went over this, but you can see it's business charge. So it's going to be due. See, it says it's due in full 7 days at the end of the statement period. So they have 7 days and 30 days. So that would be anywhere from basically at net 14 statement period or 37 days. So, basically at net 30, but then it's due within 7 days from the statement date. So when you sign up, I made up this here. Where's it at here? Yeah, right here. So it's pretty simple. You're just going to fill out your name, self-explanatory. You have to confirm your email address, make sure you do all that. And then you're going to see, by the way, this link is in the description below, but just all this is self-explanatory, but let me show you guys what I'm talking about here about the options. Okay, see right here how it says the Pro Plan will give you a Pro Plan line of credit with flexible cash flow management. Payment is due at the end of the statement period. So, like this is typical qualifying customers will have a 3-month average business cash balance of 20,000 linked. So that doesn't mean you need to have 20,000 in your business bank account at one given time when you're applying, and it's saying typical. Okay. So of course you're probably not going to get this if you only have like $1,000 in your business bank account. But I would say if you've done, 5,000, 10,000 over the past 90 days, then I would go and apply. But at the very least, do the prepaid one because that can go into being a unsecured, just like Divvy did before. They had the credit builder program, and that's what I think they're offering with this. This is all very new, just got released in the last couple weeks. So you're going to go next. It's all through the Plaid platform. All self-explanatory. You can order cards. I'm waiting for my cards. I already ordered. So that's that. I'll get to the questions here in a minute. I just glanced and I had a question real quick. PEX, I think because of the video I put out the other day, I haven't seen anybody else put videos out about PEX. So I think they got overloaded with the onboarding. And mine, when I did mine, it was literally not even 24 hours, when I heard back. But I'm hearing from a couple other people, mentorship students of mine, that some of them got in right away, but then there's others that are waiting. And it's already been, say, 4 or 5 days. So it could be also because of 4th of July holiday, whatnot. Next one is, this is the one that I was really wanting to show for those that have a healthy cash flow coming in. I wouldn't recommend even applying for this if you don't have healthy cash flow. You could be a new business, say you're in e-commerce and you're doing a good amount of money coming in, say over 10,000 or something, then you could possibly get approved for this. I don't have this particular card because it's brand new. They were just in Canada, but now they open up into the US. You can see here. This is the application, the link. It's pretty self-explanatory, very simple. But let's go down here. You can see here, hassle-free, high limits, get all the benefits of a bank without any of the headaches. Card limits, 1 million. That's up to 1 million, of course. But you probably need to be doing quite a bit, to have that limit. Approvals can be 1 day, 0 personal guarantees. This one, I don't have too much information about. I'm still waiting to hear back from my account rep over there. I actually just had to send him my Secretary of the Secretary of State certificate of good standing. Waiting to see back on that. I will let you guys know about that here soon, but I wanted to put it out. This is for anybody in Canada or the US. So you just connecting your USD or Canada bank account, and it's literally just like, say, Ramp or Divvy. They're all pretty much using similar platforms. A lot of them are using either Unico or Marqeta or Stripe. Those are the primary platforms that all these fintechs use. They're licensing with, say, Marqeta or Unico, Stripe, because they have the banking partner relationships, and that's pretty much how that works. That's why you'll notice, like Torpago, you'll notice different ones. You'll see it kind of looks the same, or at the bottom of the bank, always look for this. This is a way to tell things too. How it says, it's issued by Thread Bank. So, Thread Bank, that's going to be, say, a partner of Unico or Marqeta. There's like Patriot Bank. You'll notice that one a lot. There's Trust Bank, Cross River. There's a couple different ones, but they're all working with, say, Stripe or Unico, Marqeta. All these different ones have these relationships already in place with the actual bank. And then the banks are the ones that have the relationship license set up with, say, MasterCard or Visa. So they're basically like co-branded cards in a sense. And then the interchange fee, say, of the 3% or so, is split between, say, Stripe, Visa, MasterCard, whatever it is, and then the program owner. And the program owner would be, say, Float or Ramp or Divvy. So everyone's getting kind of a fractions of percent, like 1%, 0.5%. Doesn't sound like very much, but it adds up when you're talking millions and millions of dollars. That's why, like, Divvy literally after 2 or 3 years got acquired for almost $3 billion, and Divvy doesn't charge anything. How do they make money? Well, they make money off of every time somebody uses the card. There's that interchange fee. That's how all these business cards. So it's a trade-off. When you're not paying any fee, then don't expect that you're going to have to, don't expect to, don't complain when you have to pay it back in 30 days if you're not paying any finance fees. You can look at some of the other business cards, like, say, the Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard, right? You could have a $20,000 limit, but the rates, even doesn't matter how good your business credit is, it's still going to be a pretty high rate compared to different cards. Your best at like anywhere from 14% to 26%, like the revolving No PG gas card ConocoPhillips that Synchrony underwrites. That was one of my very first accounts and reports to Experian. That card, I'll tell you, is like 26, almost 27% if you revolve it. So I wouldn't suggest to do that, but it's there just in case you need to, I guess. So, but this one, yeah, like I said, all these fintechs, it's just worth trying out. I mean, again, worst case scenario that you get declined, it takes, 5, 10, 15 minutes of your time doing the application, right? Um, Now, don't put crazy high amounts like here it says current credit card spend. If you're not doing, say, 50,000, don't put 50,000. Be reasonable. But then again, if you put too low, they don't want your business because it's not worth their time to do the account servicing. Just like Brex, that's why a couple years ago, Brex literally shut down like 95% of all of their account holders, all the business owners' accounts. They shut them all down because they changed direction. They only wanted to deal with the high tech startups that had venture capital, seed rounds, and all that. So put something reasonable, of course, and you can see all of these cards, all those cards, over 120 business cards. I'll tell you, like I said before, if you guys don't already know, some of you guys do know, 50-60% of those are no personal guarantee. And out of those, I would say 40-50%, I either got denied the first time because brand new LLC, but then after 30 days, I reapplied. So it just takes persistence. And yes, I had money in the bank and my other businesses, but the whole point for this YouTube channel, I wanted to start with a brand new LLC. If for those that's been with me for the last 4 or 5 years, you can look back to all the old live streams. See, I showed everything, the registration date, everything, all the addresses and live applications. And it's not like I had a lot to start with. I mean, I didn't want to take my own other business income and put it in there, just to kind of inflate, although there's ways and strategic ways you could do that, but, I literally started with, I think it was like 3 to 5,000, I think out of my own money I put in the business bank account, and then started being persistent, applying, and then different earnings that would come in, say from ad revenue, referral revenue coming in from the channel. I donate a lot of it to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research, but a majority of that's what it would show. So it's like every month it would get a little bit more and more, and you start building that up. But, a lot of that becomes irrelevant with some of these fintechs if you can justify showing consistent growth, even if it's not major like jumps of like 10,000 to 20,000, as long as you can show consistent growth, even on your Experian business credit report, transactions, payment experiences, mix accounts. And you can't just have a whole bunch of these $100 starter vendors. Like I always talk about that, a lot of people are under the assumption that you get 10 different net 30 accounts and they're all going to be reporting to all the bureaus. That's not how it works. A majority of them only report to one bureau, sometimes two. Dun & Bradstreet, like I said, used to be more relevant and important, but for financial related business credit lines, business credit cards, PG or no PG, doesn't matter. Experian business credit is what's pulled, even with, say, SBA. I have a new announcement about SBA actually coming too. I'll probably put that video up this weekend or Monday, but they're going to be releasing a new program in the coming months doing for working capital for small business owners. Typically, you need to have, the SBA small business loan, 7A. Those loans are typically, the best loans you could get, but they're not the easiest to get, However, they have this new program that's more like a working capital, lower amount, but they also are given up to $5 million as well. So I don't want to say too much. I'm going to release that information here in the coming days. So just stay tuned for that. But it's also going to help those that have that barrier of not having a whole lot of startup capital. They use a lot of the Experian scores for the Experian Business FICO score and the Experian Normal Intel score and Financial Stability Risk score and Small Business Financial Exchange Stability Risk score, and as well as your personal FICO. Now, for those that have bad personal credit, try to get your personal credit at least 600 or higher. Even 600 is not great, but to qualify for a lot of these fintechs, as long as you have over 600 or higher, even if you have some blemishes on your personal credit, it's okay as long as you can justify it in other ways and other means. Like Divvy, they overlook some blemishes on the business owner's personal credit, providing you have some type of steady business income coming in, even if it's not a, 10, 20, 30,000, they could still approve you as long as they can justify it by having a strong Experian business credit report, not just these ridiculous trade lines that are starter vendors that aren't even reporting to, say, Experian. There's very few. Those are the harder ones to actually get. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is focus on all the bureaus, but if you're really trying to get financial credit lines, no PG, fintechs, whatever it may be, I would focus the most of your energy on getting Experian business credit lines, okay? Any of those trade lines that are reporting. And I'll tell you, when I first started, like say the Lowe's and a lot of these gas cards, not WEX or crap cards now. A lot of them are PG now, but you focus on gas cards that have a MasterCard or a Visa. A lot of those are now been reporting to Experian. So focus on that. That's how I got that. Almost all of that. It's literally came down to once you kind of get over this hurdle, and that initial hurdle is about getting 5, 6 trade lines reporting on Experian, and at least one of those being a trade line that's reporting a balance of at least $1,000 or higher. That's going to open up so many opportunities for you to get so much business credit. Yeah, I have over 2.4 million in business credit, probably close to 3 million now. But if I repeated the same process, I probably couldn't get that much because, during COVID, things were a lot more relaxed. Things have tightened up, but I would say you could still get at least 1 million. And I did that in about 16 months or so. So, regardless of your situation, like I have one student right now. He joined maybe 2 months ago, and let's see here. I think it was the second week is when he got his first big approval in 6 figures. And I don't want to say too much about him. He's probably listening right now, but I'll tell you, just put it this way. I think he's on track to outpace me. Probably not so much getting as many cards as I have. I don't recommend anybody doing that. It's a nightmare. I have full-time VA that just handles making sure nothing's late, and I don't use a lot of them, and I've shut down some of them that are just like worthless. I was the guinea pig to get a lot of them. I would say, like, say, for instance, a Shell gas card. Where's it at? It's one of these here. The Shell. The Shell, I think it's the Shell Super Fleet one, the yellow one. I had it here. I made a couple of videos about it. But anyways, like that one is through WEX. I closed that account because, for one, I'm overseas now, right now. I do travel back and forth, but I'll tell you, there's just no benefit. WEX has a bad issue with reporting. It's like hit or miss if they report. And I have several of their cards, but the only card of WEX that I would actually say for anybody to get that can be used for more than just say gas. fuel purchases would be this card. Would be this card, the Wex Fleet Edge card. This one you can use actually to book hotels, and auto parts, gas, and I believe a few other things. But you can't get cash or anything like that out of it. So earlier I was talking about the Navan, right? Navan or whatever. This is their old company. Okay. It's Trip Actions. So this is the card that basically they changed their name and now it's Navan, but it used to be called Trip Actions. That's the card. So yeah, I mean, that's just like this one, like here even, you know, Expensify. Yeah, this one's a good one too. That one you can get, I think they've tightened up a little bit, but I do know that a lot of people still are getting very high limits with them, but you need to have over 10,000 on your bank to even get this card, to get that limit. You know, they're just very similar, I would say, closer to Ramp. Ramp, that's only one of the Ramp. I got a couple of different Ramps. I would say like 9 out of 10, 90% of all cards I have when it comes to anything business, fintech, or even no PG or PG. I'm not just, you know, telling you guys all this to kind of brag. I'm just showing you guys because, you know, I've been through it all. I've been the guinea pig. And I know what trade lines are crap, even not even worth going after. There's no point to get things that you have no use for. Or, you know, there's very few starter vendor or trade lines that I would even have any of my students go after unless it's going to help their end goal. And every business owner has different goals. You know, some want to get into real estate or use this business credit they're building up to fund another business or inventory or get on Toro, no PG, business auto loans, fleets, you know, real estate. There's just so many different trucking, equipment leasing, so many different things. So any of you guys interested, I do have more spots available on my mentorship. It's one-on-one weekly, and there's a client portal. Real quick, let me show you guys this too, because this is very important. So Ewan, I showed this the other day, but for anybody that doesn't have a website, this is going to be a problem for you, especially with fintechs. If you don't have a professional website or a little GoDaddy crap website, you could have everything else in line, but if you don't have like citations, Google listing, Yelp, these are all free things to do anyways, but get your online presence taken care of. It just takes time, 5-10 minutes for each one. Get those taken care of. Show Me Local, Merchant Circle, get those taken care of. Better Business Bureau. Some of them do take time because they have to verify, but a majority of they're all free. Don't sign up for any of them that try to sell you or try to promise you more things like, oh, we'll get you listed in all these different directories. Just the bare minimum. That's all you need to do. Just get listed. But just did a partnership with them where this company, because so many people on my channel here, they keep asking about website. And I used to have my old office manager used to offer website design for my viewers. And I no longer work with him, but with this, you can get, in 7 days, you can get your custom website built. And it's literally only a one-time fee of $149. Can't really beat that. And then it's just $12.99 a month. You get business email address, professional. If you're trying to apply and use, say, Gmail or Yahoo, I would avoid against that because that doesn't show that you're very professional. So, you know, let's show some examples here. You know, here's a painter, Sacramento painter. I mean, they're basic sites. You pay for what you get, but still, I mean, you try to get this may, say on Fiverr, it's hit or miss, and sometimes there's language barrier. With this, at least you can see, and they're going to talk to you. You're going to be on the phone with them, and you tell them exactly what you want. What's very important is this part. This is so important for manual underwriting. A lot of these fintechs, not just fintechs, but like say even Uline or Granger, Quill, their credit departments will look at this for new businesses. And if you don't have the citation data where it's going to show like the phone number, uh, email address, the address, if you don't have the information in there in the footer of your website, that's one reason why you're probably going to get denied or a low starting limit. But all these things that all these other YouTubers want to sit there and say they know everything about business credit, but then you never hear them talk about these things that I talk about. But you also don't see none of them have what I have either, you need to not skip these steps. These steps do matter, so you have to think of it from an underwriter's point of view, fintech or traditional. They still are going to look at things, especially if you're a new business and you're trying to get a credit line. Well, they're going to look at things. So even if you put 25,000 in your business bank account, but you're only a 3-month-old business, if you don't have your online presence and everything set up properly, then there's a reason why you keep getting those denials, or like the information, like say Synchrony, it comes back no PG business MasterCard at Sam's Club. Businesses information is unable to be verified, or business information unable to be verified. That's one of the reasons it didn't pass manual review, or you're not in the proper telecom database. So there's just so many factors, and there's so much. I could talk for 8 hours about this, and I've been through it all, and that's why my one-on-one business credit mentorship. Not everybody has the time to actually go through and watch all my videos, but if you do, you can get all the information for free. But if you, don't have the time for that and you don't want to make any mistakes, that's what the mentorship's for. And I'm going to help you every step of the way, and it's custom. And everything can be kind of fast tracked. What would take a typical person, say, 6 months to do, we can do in less than a month. As long as you're dedicated at least 1 to 2 hours of your time per week in my client portal, and you're in communication with me, updating me when I tell you to do something and you do it, follow these tasks and let me know the status outcome of each thing, then every week I'm going to review and tell you what you need to do next. There is some weeks that you're going to have a waiting period where I'm not going to have a whole lot for you to do because we're waiting for trade lines to be reporting, because you're a new business or you don't have a thick enough file. So I'm not going to have you apply for something that that you're going to probably get denied for. I'd rather wait a week or two and wait until some trade lines start reporting that I had you do, say, foundation week 1 or week 2. So then you're going to get approved. So that's why I no longer offer 4-week and 6-week mentorship. Now I only offer 12-week, 16-week, 26-week, and just offered 52-week because a couple of my students wanted to extend. So I'm not telling on here saying that everybody needs to join my mentorship. I'm very selective and picky on who I accept because, it's not so much just the price that's a factor, but it comes down to the dedication and the person, connection, all that, so everything needs to be in line. Your goals, you need to have realistic goals. If you do a mentorship consultation with me and you say, oh, I want to get what you got, or I want to get $1 million, well, that's just not realistic. It's just not going to happen. There are some circumstances where, for instance, I have some students that, get 6 figures in 1 month or 2 months into the mentorship. And while there's others that get 2,000, 3,000, one thing I can promise is that you're going to have a solid business foundation across 5 different business credit bureaus, 4 of them being the main, and then a secondary. So just keep that in mind. But again, you can follow all my advice on these different lives that I've done recently, and look at my past content too, especially the videos that have the lowest views. Just go to all my videos and then sort by popular. Don't watch the popular ones, because those are just people trying to get, like, YouTube just pushed them out there, and it kind of got, someone went viral on the business credit part. But look at the ones that had the lowest views. The ones that have the lowest views that I put out, they're the boring ones, but those are the ones where there's gems and there's good information, where I break things down, like Experian Business Credit Information Solutions. They're commenting on my videos, saying good job. I break everything down on my big screen. I'm giving good information so you understand what you need to do. So if you have the time, you don't need to pay for mentorship, and you can do this yourself. Just avoid listening to a lot of these shenanigans, people talking all this malarkey that run when you hear someone say 80 Payex Score. I'm so sick of hearing about that. I mean, you can have a 95 Payex Score and can't even get a $500 vendor credit line, for cardboard boxes or whatever. That doesn't mean anything. It's what's in the file. It's very easy to manipulate and get a Payex Score. It's not very hard to do that. What you can't do is, it's impossible to manipulate Experian business credit. There's ways to get things done quicker, but still, you're going to get to a point where there's only so much you can get to that point with those scores. You're going to need to start to have different account mixes, and you need to start utilizing those accounts the right way. But even if you don't have all these funds, it's okay. That's also what I teach in my business credit mentorship, that I'm teaching you strategically, especially for those that don't have, say, all these funds to be able to use. Well, there's ways you can use some of your initial credit lines to help each other credit lines. Like, say you have, you're using 1 or 2 strategically. I don't want to say too much information, but you're using essentially some of these first credit lines that you get. Maybe they're 1,000 or 2,000. And you're using those strategically to obtain a couple other, and then it's basically OPM, using other people's money, but you're using underwriters' money, to pay for one, to pay for another, as long as you're doing it the right way and paying things on time. Also, don't pay invoices too early. If you pay them, a lot of my students, they say, oh, it's not reporting. I paid a week after I got the invoice. 3 weeks early. Don't do that, because it's going to be counted as a prepaid order with a lot of these underwriters and net 30 vendors, these different trade lines. Pay early, yes, that's good. But a rule of thumb for me is 5 to 7 business days. That's when you want to pay it. So if it's due, say, on the 15th of the month, that's when your Uline or Granger or Sam's Club card, whatever it is, if it's due on the 15th, then pay it around, say, the 7th or 8th of the month. 5 to 7 business days early, and then you're good. In case something happens with, say, ACH or whatever, you're still going to be good. Pay a little early, but if you pay too early, then, like I said, there are a lot of these accounting systems and their CRMs. It's going to register basically as not enough time to populate for the data furnishing for Metro 2 compliant format, or Small Business Financial Exchange, whoever they're reporting to. Their system's not going to populate it enough. It could or could not. I'm not saying it won't, but there is quite a few of the times that I've seen where it won't actually, depending on the underwriter or the trade line, it's not actually going to report, because the fact that it was paid too quick. And you have the right idea for those that do that you want to show and pay early. And that's good if you're trying to build up that relationship with that particular underwriter and go with them. But if you're actually trying to get that trade line reported showing the trade experiences, those payment experiences, you know, then you want that to be reported, because the more of those you get reported and the more of those experiences that get reported, that's going to get you all those cards. And you're going to get more and more, and your personal credit becomes less and less relevant. So just keep that in mind. It's, I kind of keep repeating the same thing on these different lives, but I'll tell you, it's like almost every day on these different consultations that I do, I get these same questions. And unfortunately, it's a lot of idiotic people on YouTube that think they get approved for 3 or 4 business cards or trade lines, and they get an 80 or 90 Payex score, and then, oh, I'm a business credit expert, I'm going to start my own YouTube channel. And then they spread this old information. A lot of the information they're spreading is like 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Yeah, Don Bradstreet was, majorly utilized back then, but, there was so much frauds happened during COVID, and a lot of the financial underwriters now use Experian. Experian is almost impossible to manipulate. Now you can fast track it if you know what, underwriters, what trade lines to go after, and you know what their requirements are. For instance, like one of my I would say the very first so-called tier 2, tier 3 credit line I got was, where's it at? The Synchrony card. This one. That card. That's the revolving card, right? So this card is revolving. It's underwritten through Synchrony. It's no PG, and it can be used at ConocoPhillips 6676. Don't be confused with WEX. WEX has one too, but this one is the business revolving one, no PG, underwritten through Synchrony. It reports like clockwork around the 2nd to the 4th to Experian every month, and Dun & Bradstreet. So that's going to be good. That will help you build the interbanking relationship. I got this was having an Intel score with Experian only 34. It was at 34. And this is so-called a tier 2 or tier 3, according to Credit Suite and others. And that's malarkey. So that opened the door for me. It wasn't a super high limit, I think 1,500 or 2,500, something like that. It can only be used at those stations, but, that just gets you that good trade line being reported, because it's reporting as a revolving business credit card, and that's what you need. You don't just having a whole bunch of net 30 in business services. That's not gonna, that helps only to a certain extent of account mix. So for instance, like at that particular time, I think I only had NAV reporting, NAV and maybe eCredible, but it might have been just NAV reporting, the NAV business boost. I had that reporting for maybe 2 or 3 months. But how I got this approved was the rich filmographic data. And I bet you if I did an audit at 10 different people watching me right now, if you sent me your actual Experian business credit report, the actual file, not the one from NAV, but the actual file, I bet you I could find 4 to 5 different things lacking on the rich filmographic data, like key personnel, the website information that's above your registered agent, email address, business phone number, fax, all these things you think that don't matter, but the more information that you provide to Experian, that goes into a scoring metric. Okay. Does it make up a score in particular? No. Scores to a certain extent are just a metric. Scores are also a way for the bureaus to sell reports. It's what's on the file that matters the most, so I'd much rather have 3 or 4 Experian trade lines that are constantly being used like month after month, because I can use them for my actual business, than having 10, 12 on Experian that are a whole bunch of like, vendor net 30 trade lines, that net 7, net 30, net 14, that I'm only using once a year because I'm just doing it to get the reporting. Underwriters can see right through that. That's why you're getting denied. And those that are all scared about no PG and don't want to show anything personal, well, you're not committed to your business if you're not willing to, give some of your information to the business credit bureaus. A real professional business has a professional website. So, like, the link's right below. Anybody, just, it's $149 if you can't invest that into your business. You need to rethink your plan. I hate to be blunt about it, but you don't have to do this. Just a website in general. This is just a resource I'm putting out there. It's only, like I said, you can't really get much cheaper than that. So, that's that. You can go over and look at that, but there's just all these little steps that a lot of people overlook, and they just want to hurry up and jump and get these trade lines, and it's so backwards. Like, there's nobody I've seen anybody on YouTube at all teaching what I teach. Nobody covers these things, and there's only maybe one or two other people on YouTube that actually have a lot of business cards, but a lot of those are personal guarantee ones, that they have. I have a mix of all of them. No PG, personal, business. It's all there. Where's it at here? Centurion Black card, where's it at here? I was trying to show you guys something about it. Yeah, so again, it's not really to brag, but when you get this, Centurion Black invite only card, you must be doing something right. Although I don't use it, and I don't recommend anybody trying to hope to get that card. It's just more of a flexing. Again, I was the guinea pig. So anyways, the point of the matter is I literally started off this whole journey with you guys. If you've been following me since I started the YouTube channel, and I didn't have 95% of this. And I don't want to say I had bad credit, because I really didn't have any credit established, really. Business credit I had established on my other businesses. I've been doing business credit since like 2004, 2005, around that time frame. But I did a lot of personal credit repair. I did a personal credit repair company, and I've always been kind of like a Dave Ramsey. I don't want to say to that extreme, but I've seen so many people ruin their life and all their hard work, and especially after the 2008 housing crisis, market crash, it screwed over so many people, really affected, so many people that worked, their whole life, and literally their credit got just screwed over just one little, issue per se. And it's a kind of like a collateral damage domino effect that happens. So, I was not anxious to go out and try to get so much credit until I fully grasped and understood everything. And I always want to put the liability as much as possible, not on myself, into businesses, and I've started over 10 different businesses, So anyways, I don't want to ramble too much. A lot of you guys already know all this and stuff, but I guess the point of the matter is, have I made mistakes? Yes. Have I always got approved for everything I applied for? No, especially in the beginning, I've got denied several times, but I kept reapplying and learning to say, okay, I know what this underwriter, I see what they're looking for, and I made different adjustments, and, And then on top of that, I've had so many mentorship students over the years where I've been able to compile the data from them, like say their denials, their approvals, and see where they're at. When you have all that knowledge and data, it kind of helps you have a better idea of what that particular underwriter, what it takes to get approved, for them, So can you get a lot of business credit build up and with having bad personal credit? Yes, but are you going to get like 6 figures quickly? No. So, I mean, just think of it that way. Anyways, the links are in the description below. I see Enja there saying, can't wait to get the Centurion Black card. I put a video about it, my journey, how I got it, but I'll tell you, it's not something that I would really advise anybody to get. In fact, the platinum card is 70% of the black card. So I really wouldn't. And it's, unless you're doing major advertising, like you're spending over 6 figures a month on, say, digital ads, Google ads, then maybe that makes sense. Or a lot of inventory where you can use a card, American Express card. That's the only time I would say a black card or platinum card really can shine. The gold card is a good card. The plum card is very, I have every American Express card that you can almost get. As far as the charge card, like Plum is underrated. It's net 60, but it's good. Delta Sky Miles, black card. I got that one. Hilton, Delta, all them. So, but there is a thing to having too much credit. So don't try to go out and get as much credit as possible. If I could redo everything that I went through, I'll tell you, I would do things a bit different. That's why also I have this mentorship, because I'm not going to have you do exactly what I did. Let's not go that route, because did I make some mistakes? Yes, we all do. We're all human. But, as much as I have here, all these cards, you could get essentially with half those cards. There's several of them that they say they report, they don't report, and they promise this, promise that, and then they're fintechs and they're trying to compete, and things didn't pan out for them. The credit lines are still there, but some of them lowered their limits and stuff. Even if you're using it, they're mitigating their risk and stuff. Anyways, with all that being said, that's all I wanted to put out for this video. I would suggest anybody that just tuned in, give this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you are interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, free consultation, text me right now, 937-423-9954. We can possibly do a consultation tonight. I'll be doing probably for the next 3 hours or so. If not, we can do one this weekend or tomorrow. I'll respond in the order that they come in. Just text that you are interested, and we can go from there. So all the links are in the description below. If you have any questions, please comment and I will respond as well. Comment in the link of this video, even the replay or whatever. Just comment. If you need clearer instructions, I will get you those. Or you can just email me, support@joshvanhorn.com. Again, support@joshvanhorn.com. Let me go through and just see here. I forgot about the questions here. Fund on up. Thank you. Thanks. Fund on up. Oh, that's nice. Let's see here. Let me go through these. I'm just there's so many of them here. I'm just going to skim through. 780 FICO score due for a 4-year-old startup. LLC money wise, just depends. There's too many mitigating factors. It depends if you want to go PG or no PG or a combination of both. I mean, the sky's kind of the limit. Just really depends. I try to have all my students go after all no PG as much as possible. If you notice, I don't talk about Chase and a lot of these like Wells Fargo. I'm not saying they're bad cards, but I don't even have a lot of those cards because I don't want. There's no point for me. I rather take advantage of no PG. That's if you know how to strategically use these cards, you can use 5 different fintech cards and utilize each other. OPM, do it strategically, and then never have to have that personal guarantee risk ever. Aaron, problems with fintechs is their terms are predatory and can put you in a debt trap. I would say that's the opposite, Aaron, and that's what not fintechs would do. Not really a debt trap. If you're talking about how they do automatic auto pay, then yeah, but that's not a debt trap. You shouldn't get it if you can't take care of, like, don't spend it if you can't pay it back. You know, um, what's a debt trap is just like having revolving cards, revolving personal or business cards, and getting out of control with them and trying to impress somebody, like take your wife, girlfriend out and use a business card and kind of overspend. A lot of people do it, we're all human. That can really mess you up. I've seen it thousands of times with my old personal credit repair company. So, that screws you up. The fintechs, it's not going to screw you up so much on the personal side. But again, don't be irresponsible. That's all it comes down to. And don't, overextend yourself. There's things to do strategically, not financial advice. Exactly. Not financial advice. Love the name. Okay. Yeah, it says Canadian, but they're, like I said, it's US too. They just started in the US. That's Thread Bank. The People's Bank is the one that they underwrite issue for Canadian businesses. Legal justification. Hey, Noah, what's up, brother? Nice to see you too. Hit me up. WEX sheets, gas card. Yeah, if you use it, it's okay. I'm not saying you have that WEX has any issues. I'm just saying take advantage of accounts that you can actually use. If you can use it, then I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying utilize accounts that you can actually use. Don't just go and get these different gas cards if you can't utilize them. There's no point. A lot of other people on YouTube will say, apply for this, apply for that. But then if you can't use it, then what's the point? And if you're using it just to try to build business credit up and you're overpaying, it's okay to do that to a certain degree, but not too much, Can't sign in anymore. Why is that? Noah, let me know about why you can't. I think maybe that's because you were on their old system, their old account, and that's when they just changed. Before they were charging, now it's free to everybody. Yeah, not financial advice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's it's $150 for a professional website. Don't expect a big Shopify, website of like e-commerce, all that. But just to have a site, you really need to, even without mentorship, if you don't have $1,000 to invest in, say, business credit reports, the basic trade lines that you need to get, basic supplies, website, real business phone numbers, like Nextiva, like don't go after, get those Google Voice, those forwarding numbers, even some of those ones that people recommend for trade line, like I forget what it is, phone box something. Nav promotes them, but they're overpriced and ridiculous, not needed at all. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's well worth it. I'd say you can get everything set up probably for less than $500 and have a good foundation of business credit, doing everything yourself, and have a professional website and proper business line, all that. And don't do a lot of these companies too, like the website, they'll try to maybe this unit one, they'll try to upsell you for other things. Don't do that. That's why they're giving you a good deal for the initial part. And then they're trying to maybe upsell you, for SEO or other things. Yeah, don't do that. So like they sell on your website for 149, but then during onboarding, they may try to get you to do SEO. Don't just say no thanks. How do I get this website guy? Also, I need to get registered agent and operating agreement. Silverman Fox, text me, but anybody that texts me about mentorship or questions to my phone number, make sure you put your YouTube name, because like Silverman Fox, you've sent me several messages here on the lives before and confusing me, but then I don't know. And you said you've contacted me, but I don't know who you are. I get contacted so much. So let me know so I can kind of put you in my phone book there. I went to Harbor Compliance. It was the cheapest. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, really just depends what kind of compliance you're talking about. Your operating agreement, registered agent, depends for what state, all that. A lot of that you can do yourself. You don't necessarily need to have a registered agent. It's not required in all states. You can be your own registered agent. Like say, for instance, in Ohio, you don't need to have a registered agent. You can put yourself as the registered agent. Just doing some research. A lot of these things, these companies are trying to upsell you or sell you these things thinking that you need it and you don't. Chase Inc. report statement balance. Well, I mean, limits aren't necessarily always reported to the business credit bureaus, but they're reporting to the Small Business Financial Exchange. Don't necessarily max it out per se. Depends on the situation. I mean, it really depends on what your situation is. Because again, there's strategic times that you want to show high balance and then hurry up and pay it off the next month, but you want to show that it was a high balance being reported, not paid yet, but not late, and then pay it off all. And you can use other credit approvals that you got to pay it off, OPM again. But again, it just depends. Yeah, not financial advice. Just email me support@joshvanhorn.com if you want me to send me your Experian details, and I'll take a look. I'll take a quick 5 minute and give a little quick advice. I don't mind doing that for anybody, especially those that following me, and I rather help people, even if it's for free, help people that are actually trying to help themselves and not cut corners. Because when you cut corners on business credit, you're not going to get any of this. You may have some short-term success, but then you're going to get denials, and then eventually you're going to be at a brick wall. And then don't ask me why you got to that level. Don't cut corners. There's so many steps are overlooked that are just tiny steps, and they either don't cost money or they just take time. 5 minutes out of your, literally, if you just spent 10, 15 minutes a day dedicated just to your online presence, doing these little things that don't even cost money. Some things do cost money, but majority of them don't. As long as you do that, I bet you in 30 to 60 days, you're going to be well better off than listening to anybody. That it's easy for anybody to make a video and repeat the same content. A lot of YouTubers take my content and then just recycle it. and they just make pretty things about it. There's a couple guys that constantly doing this mentorship, like purchase my mentorship, and all they're doing is taking my content from these lives and stuff, and then just putting it on a PowerPoint and just like literally reading off of it. They're just taking what comes out of my brain and putting it into basically their PowerPoint and trying to sell their little mentorship, but they don't cover into the level I cover. And anyways, don't even want to get on that. Let's see here. Fund on up. What's up? Send me, what do you mean business funding? I think you sent me a text if I'm not mistaken, maybe. 90 days building business credit. Can you get six figures? Again, it is very well possible. Like I said, one mentorship student, he got over 120,000 in the first less than 1 month, actually, like 2 weeks. But again, there's different factors that go into place. I would say the point blank answer on that, if you're a brand new business and not much capital or very little, then no, in short, no. But can you get, say, six figures in 3 to 6 months of having very little starting capital? Yeah, that's possible. No, Home Depot is not one of them actually, because it's underwritten through, even though it's a store card, it's underwritten through Citi, and they require 3 years in business. They have a different one that you can a different commercial one that you can actually, there's ways that you can get in with, like, say, the kind of backdoor methods and stuff that you could do. But the main Home Depot one, that's the same as just like the, say, Lowe's one. I mean, so Lowe's is underwritten through Synchrony, but they actually don't pull Experian for that. They're pulling Equifax. So Synchrony is always going to be pulling Experian business credit, but for Lowe's, for pros, the net 55-day card, they pull Equifax. Red Spectrum. What do I think about Red Spectrum? Run as fast as you can. I was actually going to make a video here soon about them. Several of my mentorship students have got screwed over and scammed by them. You can see I've never once promoted them ever, but then these other channels constantly are promoting them. But then those channels also don't have anything to show for either. So yeah, I wouldn't give them a dime. I've barely even done any research on them, just because of the amount of people I hear that come to me that just got scammed, basically. But yeah, I would stay away from them. Let's see here. How could I get approved for bank accounts like Citibank? I have applied online 3 times. Had no success. So like Citibank, the traditional ones like that, if you're trying to get Noah, those you need to actually go into branch, talk to the actual banker, because there's so much fraud that goes on. So a lot of these neo banks, those banks are going to be the ones that you're going to have a better chance to get approved online. If you're trying to get like Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, you need to go actually into a physical branch. That would be my best bet. And these could be something stopping you from not passing the system. And so there's a lot of these third party and secondary databases that are used. Credit Safe is one of them. Early warning signals, LexisNexis, SageStream. You need to make sure all those are aligned and not either frozen. If any of them are frozen or locked, or you've had any past issues with, say, check systems or any of those, or you ever hired credit repair before by somebody else, or they could have done something's frozen, and that's why you're getting rejected. So there's so many factors, and there's, I would say, a dozen of those secondary agencies that you need to check. That some of them are owned by the big bureaus, because they got bought by, say, Experian, or just like, say, PayNet, or early warning signals, early warning, Experian, different ones like that, But you need to check with all those And that's a slow, painful process. It's not an overnight process either. But you need to check all those. That could be the reason why you're, getting red flagged. But when you get you get the denial letters for the accounts you're trying to open up. They have to provide you a denial letter. You just have to request it. If they don't automatically give it to you, you have to request it. But when you request it, they're going to give you a reason why, and then that's the information where you'll see what the problem is. It won't flat out tell you why. Sometimes it will, but you'll see who they're using. It should say Cantora or Cantera, early warning, Equifax, whatever it may be, check systems, Sage Stream. That's the things you need. Innovis is one of them as well. You need to see what they're using, who they're using. Every underwriter and every bank uses different ones, and they're all kind of competitors. So you need to clear those issues up. It's something on there. I owe money to Synchrony Bank from my first business, and now I can't get approved for any accounts underwritten. How can I fix this? Okay. Well, I have one student that had the same issue, but she just got approved for JCPenney's and Lowe's and the ConocoPhillips, and she's going to be getting the Sam's Club. And she actually owed on the personal and business side with Synchrony, and she's still able to get all because of building the business credit solid. So again, you just need to have, for one, there's something that's maybe interlinking them possibly. So if you're using the same address, phone number that you used in the past, even on the personal side, that could be a reason why. So you need to clear that up. But as long as you have that changed, then you can still get it. I wouldn't recommend doing that, just to not pay these debts, but you can get that no problem. I mean, I have some students that's got 3 different Lowe's cards, and during COVID they weren't able to pay them back, but then they recently got a Lowe's card for their new business. So don't get in the habit of doing that, but you can do that. I don't want to say you can do it, but I'm saying that won't be necessarily a guaranteed barrier for you. There's just something that's probably linking it, or you're prematurely applying because you think you have a lot of business credit built up, but you really don't for what you actually need for that particular account. Again, just because you have Payex Score, high Payex Score, and high Experian Intel Score, those scores really mean nothing. It's what's on the file and what type of trade lines, payment experiences that matter, and the payment trend data. That's the most important. It's what's in there. It's not the score. Score is just a metric to kind of be a basis by, but the trend data is the most important in the account mix. So when you try too much to try to get a particular one account, like everyone's trying to get Sam's Club, no PG, Business MasterCard, those are the ones that have a hard time getting it. But if you go through these proper steps, rich filmographic data, do everything the proper way, then you should have no problem getting approved. Just takes a little extra time. Don't cut corners. You can get there. Just takes time. And it doesn't have to take a long time either. Like I said, I literally got somewhere in the ballpark of 400,000 to 600,000 under 9 months, brand new business. Majority was no PG at that time. Of course, things have changed now since like COVID, but it's still very much possible to get part of that because I see it every day or I should say every week with my students. I currently have about 50 students currently enrolled in my mentorship. So Jeffrey Williams, what's up? Jeffrey, what's up? But okay, that personal account, let's say, would get you potentially hit with the algorithm. What easier? Yes, you always want to get. Yeah, don't jump and try to get the Costco no PG line. That's going to be harder to get if, again, they're looking at Experian and Small Business Financial Exchange to try to get that. That's why I haven't made the video about that because, it's too much false information being put out there about that. Everyone's trying to jump and get that. I have a couple of students that already have that and got that recently, even though it's typically going to be a PG, but there's ways to get around it for it to be a no PG. But again, that's one of the harder cards to get, and you need to make sure you have a really good, thick Experian score and small business financial exchange low risk score. It's 1 to 5 for a small business financial exchange stability risk score. And you need to have also, they're going to be doing secondary check on Credit Safe and Dun & Bradstreet. So those things all need to be in line to get the Costco No PG card. Changing business address, it depends how much degree will it hurt? I mean, as long as you update them all at the same time, then it shouldn't have an issue. But the first thing you're going to want to do is also make sure that you submit directly to the bureaus the address change. If not, you could get a mix split file, and that happens a lot with Experian, and that's the most important one. And then you're going to have like 5 trade lines reporting on one Experian file and then 5 on another. Then you have to be at their mercy to get the 2 BIN numbers, business identification number. It's like a social security number for your business that Experian assigns to you. You're at their mercy to get those to get merged, and you have to plead your case to them. It's very hard to do. It takes months at a time to even get them to do that. So it's better to not run into that if you at all possibility. So you need to, that's the first one I would focus on, because it's really a lot simpler to get Dun & Bradstreet to update, but Experian, it's very hard to get them. They have different departments that review every line that you want to get updated down to the key personnel. There's one department that deals with the NAC codes, SIC codes, the rich filmographic data, all those different things. It's not just going just because you submit that dispute or update to Experian to update all these different things. It's likely going to like 4 or 5 different departments within Experian Information Solutions to be reviewed and updated. They pride themselves, that's why they're the most expensive bureau to underwriters to pull reports. They pride on providing good, accurate data, so that's also why they're hard to, get that data changed. If everything was so easy to update and change, then it could be easy to manipulate as well, like Dun & Bradstreet. That's why they're not as trusted much by underwriters. Noah, yeah, just text me. I have one guy that's out there by you, but he just does. He's selective as well. He just doesn't accept anybody. But yeah, I mean, most credit repair companies, I'll tell you, are scammers. You have to watch out for them. But I have one guy that, if you want, I can recommend him to you. He is a bit selective, but he'll give you a free phone consultation and look at your report and see. He'll be honest with you. He don't have any bad reviews. He's very much like me, but on the personal side. He's not trying to get. That's why you don't see him on YouTube. He's on Facebook, but you don't see him over YouTube. And like, he just started on YouTube, but for like the last 5-6 years, he's just on his Facebook group, and tries to give information. He's not trying to pitch and sell. Anyways, yeah, please give the video a thumbs up, because then they'll help the replay go out to a wider audience and help the channel. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It's already been over an hour and a half. I'm going to get off here, but I promise I'll start doing more of these lives, just as promised. And I'm going to get a lot more content out. I know I've been slacking on that, been so busy and everything, but I'll get that out. Just stay tuned. Tomorrow I got definitely videos coming out, and I will do another live in the next couple of days. And if you guys want me to do any review on any of their business accounts or business cards, please be sure to comment below, not on the live, but on the actual video or any of my other videos. Comment and say, Josh, can you review this, fintech or this card, and if I don't know it, I'm going to do research and, do my due diligence. That's why I don't just promote something just blindly, So anyways, with all that being said, you guys take care. If you guys are interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, then just text right below over there or over there, 937-423-9954. Limited spots, and might be able to do a consultation even tonight. I'm over in the Philippines right now. That's where my wife and kids are and my other businesses. So that's why it's light here, you can see, but I go back and forth. But I am available to do late consultations. So anyways, all that being said, you guys take care. I can even do weekends. So just text, and it will be coming in the order that is received, and I'll do my best to at least dial in. If you want to text now, we can dial in something for the next couple of days or so and see if you're a good fit. Not everybody I can qualify. Need to make sure the goals are aligned and, expectations are, there. I don't just accept anybody just because you want to pay me. We need to make sure that I want you to be happy at the end of the mentorship as well. So anyways, all that being said, you guys take care. Love you guys. Give the video a thumbs up. And again, after this on the replay, share it or whatever, and let me know feedback, please. Anything I can improve. Always wanting to improve. We're all human, and I'll try to get more and more out to you guys. Okay. All right. Thanks again, you guys tuning in. Thanks for tuning in so late too. I apologize about that. Try to do it earlier next time. All right. All right. Bye-bye.